What's up, it's the Fragrance Apprentice, and today we're going to be doing the tier list that Manny made. Such a great idea. Top 10s, top 5s, although they're still popular, the big thing on the internet is, of course, tier lists at the moment, which I personally find a little bit odd, but, that's what's cool, and Creed is probably the only list I'd feel very comfortable with doing as a tier list, because I actually used to work for them. I've worked for them on several occasions, and doing sales in Creed was actually my first ever job. And so I've got a real love for the company. I've got a real affection for the company. They treated me very well, and they're great. They're just a superb house. They're fantastic, and I really, I really have a lot of adoration for them. So we're going to go through this. I don't know how long it's going to take. Hopefully not too long, but let's just do it. I guess that the first thing I just want to do is get this out of the way. This is Melissa Imperial. Let's just do that. Let's just do that for me. That for me is the greatest fragrance that's ever existed. It's my favorite fragrance. Lots of history, lots of memories with it. But on a technical basis, I just think it's a very beautiful, sea salty, citrusy fragrance. It's just kind of got everything. And to be completely honest, I can't really talk about it in an unbiased way anymore. I've got too much content in my mind about it. So let's start with, what is this? Is this Royal Water? Manny, come on. What is this? Is that Virgin Island? Oh, I think that's Virgin Island. That's got to be, yeah, that's Virgin Island. So Virgin Island water is kind of good, but it just smells very much like Malibu to me, the alcoholic drink Malibu. And so that kind of has put me off. I think it's kind of overpriced for that smell. I'm not surprised that there's quite a few clones from Virgin Island water, because I could just imagine that that's probably quite an easily clonable fragrance. It's basically just kind of coconut and cream, really. So I've never really had too much of a love for it. I think that the quality isn't that staggering. But I do know that people absolutely love it and absolutely adore it. I think the F tier is kind of unnecessary to do, because there is a huge love for it and people do adore it, and I kind of understand why, but for me that's an E. And there was a manager that I used to work with who didn't like fragrances at all. She was the head of the beauty department, loved all the beauty stuff, couldn't stand fragrance, didn't like fragrance, but she loved Virgin Island water, so there is something to be said for it. Viking, it's the price. It's a nice fragrance. I do like it. I think it's pretty decent, actually. I could never really see myself buying it seriously, though. Even a 50ml. Maybe if I tested it more, but I'm just like, it is what it is, and if I could buy just 20ml decants of it, I think I'd be happy with that. But it's good. I like it, but I think that the evaluation is just way over evaluation. But it is good. It's like D-list good, but it's not incredible. I think that the same goes for Taba. People really hate on Taba because it's tobacco, and it's tobacco, but it's too light, it's too airy, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's what Creed do. Creed do light and airy fragrances. They aren't really fond of doing anything too dark, and they like to take darker elements, which I'll allude to later, and they like taking more darker, harsher elements and just balancing it and toning it, and creating a sort of a lighter, more sort of aerated version. And so that's kind of their MO, especially recently. But I don't think it's a bad fragrance. I think that, again, the evaluation is a problem, especially now. About 10 years ago, I would have been happy to buy this, but I'd say that it's kind of in that same kind of Viking limbo, where it's not a bad fragrance, but I don't know if I'd really see myself buying it seriously. Still Mountain Water is a fabulous fragrance. I think that Silver Mountain Water and Melissa Imperial. My theory is because they came out very, very close to each other, if not the same year, I think. But I genuinely believe that Olivier Creed had an idea for a fragrance, and then he was like, I want to do this, but I want to do that. And maybe he did, because perfumiers, they make loads and loads of different drafts of their fragrances until they choose. I think that he really loved two drafts of this one fragrance that he was thinking of. And Melissa Imperial and Silver Mountain Water are two drafts of, or two directions of a similar initial fragrance that he was going for. So they're kind of brothers in a way, and I do see a lot of similarity between them. I think that Melissa Imperial is the superior fragrance, but yeah, I'd be happy to give Silver Mountain Water probably a B tier. No, I don't think I could push it to A. No, but B tier definitely. Silver Mountain Water is great. So now we've got Royal Water. Let's just put that there. It's not happening, is it? It's really not happening. So Royal Oud. Should I speak a bit more about Royal Water? It just smells kind of like diet lemonade. Very, very expensive diet lemonade is what Royal Water smells like, and I just don't. That's a real swing and a miss. So Royal Oud. Where is it? I've got it somewhere. Royal Oud for me was a fragrance that I feel as though I kind of got wrong. In a way, I first smelt it and thought, oh, that's good. In fact, when I first smelt Royal Oud, and if you're a fragrance lover, this will happen to you. This will happen to you a lot. It happened to me with Oud Wood, actually. But you can still see me, right? So I didn't like Royal Oud when I first smelt it. I thought, good God. That just smells like a pepper bomb. It just smelled like peppercorns. I really didn't like it at all. I was like, whoa. I don't know if it's because I got older or wiser or whatever. Can I really spray this? Oh shit. Here we go again. So now I smell it and I'm like, holy smokes. It's a fragrance that has gone all the way from me. I would have probably put it in the F or E tier at one point. And I'd say that opening is still, crazy. It's a very, very polarizing and insane opening. Now, it's up there with Melissa Imperial. I think it's one of the greatest Creed fragrances that's ever come out. And it really upsets me that this guy right here, when Creed were released Viking, they were like, it's the follow-up to Eventless, and I was like, shut up, no it's not. Royal Oud is the fragrance that came out after Eventless. It is the follow-up to Eventless. Officially, you can't deny that, yeah, but as that dries down, as Royal Oud dries down, it becomes one of the most incredible fragrances, and like I said with Taba, they took the note of oud, which was of course very popular, still is popular, and they were like, no, let's just tone it down, let's balance it, let's recreate something. And now I cannot see a winter without wearing this. Actually, I just can't. And I hope to have a bottle of Royal Oud for as long as I live, to be completely honest. And I can imagine that as I get older, it's just going to get even better. As this baby face melts away into an older man, I think that's really going to suit the tone of Royal Oud. So next one is Royal Mayfair, which I think is the same as Windsor or one of them. It's just a big swing and a miss, to be completely honest. I'd say that's E tier. I say I love Creed, but look at this. This is actually quite something, isn't it? Yeah, that for me is quite a swing and a miss, to be completely honest, and I just don't get it. Original Vltava, Manny, please don't hurt me, please don't kill me, but that's going straight to A tier. I rolled my eyes when Manny was like, well, it's a Vltava clone ripoff. And I tried to explain in my review, like, you put those two together, it's like night and day. The DNA is similar, definitely. But Vltava Cologne is just so much richer. Original Vltava is just so much more richer, just so much more nuanced. It's got so many different elements, the way that it plays with the citrus and the vetiver. Vltava Cologne is what it is. It's just a nice, very soapy, green, grassy cologne, which is great. I like Vltava Cologne. I've got it. It's cheap as hell, but if you had to say, right, you can only buy one, and for the price that original Vltava is, I would take original Vltava any time. I think it's just such a superior fragrance. They took it and they wanted to give it life and breathe it life and not just have it as a simple fragrance. I thought that Manny putting it, I think he even put it at the F tier, I think that was really silly. And to even further that point, Original Santal and Mont Blanc Individual, there is literally no difference between those two fragrances. There is no difference. They're so close. They're so ridiculously close. Not like Vltava and Venice Cologne, where Vltava has got this incredible sort of advantage, and you can tell that there's a lot of money been poured into that and to make it more bolder and richer smelling and vibrant. You smell Original Santal, you smell Mont Blanc Individual. If you buy Original Santal, you are basically ripping yourself off. You are being, that's when you're being ludicrous, because Mont Blanc Individual is just the same smell. There is absolutely no difference. So I would be happy for that to go probably in the F tier. So let's keep going. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I say I'm a huge fan of Tweed, but look at this. Neroli Sauvage, I think is fine, but like you could get that kind of anywhere. It's it's great, and it's a very, very great old school fragrance, but you could just buy Eau de Sauvage by Christian Dior. There isn't really that much difference. I guess that the Neroli in the Tweed is a little bit more fraternal. It's a little bit more lighter on its feet, I guess, whereas the Eau de Sauvage is a little bit more heady. It's kind of more going towards, it's kind of like a cross between Bois de Portugal and Neroli Sauvage. But the problem with this is, for me, I mean, I could just get this kind of, and there's so many other fragrances I could get, so although it's a solid fragrance, I'm not really feeling it. Himalaya, it's alright, you know, it's good. I wouldn't buy it though. You know, it's kind of like Silver Mountain Water but without all the fun. You know, oh god, Manny's really going to kill me with the fact that I put original Vltava over Silver Mountain Water. Jesus Christ, I'm going to be lynched. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the same kind of thing. It's like, it doesn't really get to me. Green Irish Tweed is a great fragrance, but it's just kind of overplayed. My big issue with Green Irish Tweed is that I really came into that too late, as everybody kind of does, because you smell Green Irish Tweed and you're like, oh, that's cool water, oh, that's this, that's the other, it's whatever, and you know, I've smelled like cleaning detergents that smell like Green Irish Tweed, you know, because the smell has just become this kind of universal kind of composition that many different companies and many different distributors use for all types of products, not just fine fragrance. So it is what it is, and it is quite amazing, and it did change the world in that respect. So I'm very happy to give Green Irish Tweed that's the B spot right there. I don't know if I'd buy it because it's just so common, but I do think that it is an incredible composition, and you know, I do respect it for what it is. So Arolfa, Arolfa's pretty damn good, actually. Like Arolfa's one of those fragrances where I smell it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's amazing, that's great. Yeah, I could really see myself buying it. I've never actually bought a full bottle of it, but I've had samples and decants, and I wore it a lot when I was working, and people really liked it. But I think that Arolfa really does have that batch problem, because sometimes I smell it, I'm like, wow, that's something else. And then other times I smell it and I'm like, that's not as good, not too great. But I would probably be happy to put Arolfa. Man, where would I put Arolfa? Is it in the same league as Vltava? Just. I think it's just in the same league as Vltava. Bois de Portugal, I mean, it's fab, and it's like that really classic kind of old school, kind of deal. It really, really is. It really is something to behold, and it's not to my taste completely, but I do like it for what it is. I think I'd reserve it for special occasions. I don't think I could wear this. I think I'm the wrong personality type to be wearing it. Mr. Smelly is, of course, I think this is his favourite fragrance, and he can pull something out like that off. But I'm more kind of like, I'm more Royal Oud. When I want something like what Bois de Portugal offers, I would turn more to something like Royal Oud. So Bois de Portugal is just going to fit snugly in the C tier for me. It's kind of half and half. Definitely, that's where it needs to be. Venice Cologne. I actually really like Venice Cologne. I know that a lot of people aren't fans of it because of the price, but over here in the UK, it's not horrific. It's like £205. Oh my god, that's when you know you've been doing this for too long. When you think to yourself, Jesus Christ, £205 for 100ml isn't that bad. That's when you know that you're in this, and you've been in this for freaking years. I remember when I first started, if a fragrance was £100, I'd be like, what a joke. But now, 8 years in, I'm looking at Venice Cologne, I'm like, oh, 200, good, pretty good, good, what a bargain. I love that Allure Sport kind of edition blanche. No, Allure Sport Eau Extreme kind of deal that's going on, and I'm so happy that Timmy said that he smelt it as well, and other people have said that. Chris, you were wrong. Chris was like, oh, no, mate, no, George, don't smell like other. And everybody on Instagram Live was like, no, it smells nothing like it. Yeah, it does. It has that kind of woodiest, sweety woody, what's the word I'm looking for, aldehydic kind of thing at the bottom. I think that it's great. I think it's a great, super wearable version of Aventus. I actually really like it. I feel as though I should hide I really like it, to not cause too much of a stir. But when has that really been a problem? You know what, Venice Cologne's getting freaking A. I really like Venice Cologne. I just, the pitch was, we'd try and do a more straightforward mainstream Aventus that's kind of for the younger crowd, that's that's very wearable. Like I said, in the compliment factor, Aventus for me can be a little bit heady, can be a little bit much at times, and Venice Cologne kind of strips that away so that I can just wear it anytime I want. So yeah, frick yeah, Venice Cologne, I like it. And then we get to, I love the fact that Manny put Aventus at the end. I mean, that's got to be done. I mean, it is quite incredible. It is. There's not really too many words I can put for Aventus because I love it for many, many different reasons. I want to do a full review of it. But it's iconic now. It's become the thing that everybody talks about. It's this king. It's this mythical figure in the world, and the bubble still hasn't burst. We're nearly 10 years into this. It's nearly a decade old, and it's still as popular as ever. Lamal didn't have that. Lamal didn't. Allure Sport didn't have what Aventus has. 1 million nearly had what Aventus has, but Aventus has got something different. As a scent, I've smelt it so many times, and especially when you're working for Creed. I worked for Creed the year that Aventus took off, and I'm assuming that it's probably all because of me. That's right, me just being in Manchester, in Harvey Nichols, I was probably the person. So you've got, I'll take a thank you. No, but I did see Aventus take off, and the amount of money that Creed made in that one store alone. I mean, honestly, there would be days where Harvey Nichols Beauty was having a rough day, but literally Aventus would save it. Like they would, like that's insane to think about. It's just so it's a mythical figure. I think the scent is quite incredible, quite an amazing scent, honestly. And when I remember the first time I smelt it, and I smelt it before it took off. I smelt it when it was just released. And I just thought, you know what, that's exactly how a man's fragrance should be. That's exactly how a man should smell. And that was, I don't know how old I was, about 18, 19. And back then when I first smelt it, I just kind of nodded to myself and went, yeah, that's perfect. So it is what it is. It's S tier. It's, so that is my Creed tier list. It didn't quite go down how I actually thought it would. I didn't plan anything, I just wanted to go with the flow, but there it is for you to all see. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, then please leave a like, give us a subscription. I'm releasing videos every single day at the moment, which is not what I thought how this would go down. I thought I'd only be releasing 3 or 4, but I'm releasing every day, and long may it continue, so stick around. Anyway, I'm the Fragrance Press. Hope you got the information that you wanted, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you tomorrow.